Welcome to the EM Supply Room series, where we teach you everything you need to know to be in and out of the supply room ready for your procedure in 5 minutes or less, an NYU EM APP Fellowship production. We'll start by grabbing the ultrasound to help us identify a pocket of acidic fluid to drain. First, grab the curvilinear or abdominal probe. Most providers like to start by looking in the lower quadrants, most commonly the right lower quadrant. Here you can try to identify an anechoic area of fluid. That way you can avoid omentum and bowel during the procedure. Once you identify a pocket of fluid, you can mark the overlying skin by using a syringe and pulling back. Most emergency departments will have a kit similar to this one. The kit includes the sterile draping, the tubing, fluid collection bag, as well as materials for cleaning, the needle with the overlying catheter, as well as the scalpel, and anesthetic materials. For time's sake, we will not review how to form the sterile field. We will begin by cleaning the skin after we have created our sterile field. After cleaning the skin, we will start by anesthetizing. First, we'll make a superficial wheal at the surface of the skin. And then we will move the needle deeper into the tract through which the paracentesis needle and catheter will travel. Next, we'll take the scalpel included in the kit, find the area that we marked with the syringe previously using the ultrasound, and make a small stab incision just large enough for the catheter. In order to perform a diagnostic paracentesis, you will insert the needle into the catheter and then attach the syringe. Using a pistol grip, you can bring the safety centesis needle to the area where you've made the nick with the scalpel and slowly and gently insert the catheter until you feel a loss of resistance. Then you can withdraw the syringe to obtain your acidic fluid. Now we'll talk about the setup for therapeutic paracentesis. First, you'll notice this tubing has several pieces to it. The head, the longer tail, and the shorter tail. The shorter tail attaches to the stopcock. You can remember short S, stopcock S. The longer tail will attach to the fluid collection bag, which the fluid will drain into below. And the head of the tubing will attach to a syringe. The insertion of the catheter is the same process for both the diagnostic and therapeutic paracentesis, using the pistol grip. Once you've lost resistance and believe you are in the pocket of fluid, make sure the stopcock is turned away from the tubing so that the fluid can flow, and aspirate using the syringe to confirm that you are in the correct pocket. Once you have confirmed your location by aspiration, you can remove the needle from the catheter. Keep in mind that once you've removed the needle, it can no longer be inserted due to possibility of shearing the catheter during reinsertion. Now that we've removed the needle, we can relax the catheter or have a sterile helper hold it, and then use the syringe to aspirate the desired amount of fluid. The way the valve system works in this tubing, you can actually push the fluid back in and it will flow into the collection bag. You can continue pulling fluid out using the syringe and pushing it into the collection bag until you have your desired amount of fluid. If your facility has these vacuum collection bottles available, you won't need to use the aspiration method and the fluid should flow spontaneously like with a blood culture bottle. Last but not least, we can use gentle traction to remove the catheter and cover it with a bandage. Good luck!